Good morning, everybody. This is Eureka John, and you are at Eureka Street Crypto Hub, broadcasting live from Leander, Texas, just a suburb outside of Austin. And yes, it is October 8th, 2021 at 6:16 in the morning. I'm broadcasting a little later than normal today, just because I slept in. I was pretty tired. I was up till like 1 in the morning. Just I don't know, man. Mine was going. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Bankless DAO right now. There's just a lot of stuff going on, and I'm also trying to understand Olympus DAO as well, and that's what this show's going to be about. So I'm not really going to beat around the bush too much today because I want to try to cover Olympus DAO at least a little bit, just to kind of get you familiar with what it is, at least just the basics of it. I need to do an entire video. I've been covering stable coins for the past few days, and I covered RAI, and then the first day I talked about central banks versus private banks, central banks versus private banks, and the whole issue about what are stable coins exactly, and how is it really that stable being pegged to the dollar nowadays? So a lot of questions are coming up. And I'll talk about that here in a second. First of all, I want to say that this is just my video blog. That's it. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not shilling anything. I'm not trying to be your teacher or anything like that. I'm just documenting publicly my journey through this crypto space and making my mistakes as I go along. So I may say something that's completely inaccurate. Sorry. It's just what it is. And I've been doing this since last October 24th, 2020, so almost a year now, but I've been doing it every single day since February 6th, 2021. And so that's a lot of days back to back there. And every single day, it's just my discipline to try to make sure I at least read something or listen to a good podcast, so I'll have something to talk about, and that so I can display that I have actually learned something, And I think it's important to learn every single day, because when you stop learning, you start dying, and knowledge is the greatest gift that has ever been given to us. And ignorance is basically, I mean, is it bliss? Because of the suffering that can come from ignorance, I'm not sure it's exactly bliss. And then when you do have knowledge, you are able to work around a lot of things that may potentially hurt you or the people that you love. Anyway, so yes, this is my constant quest for knowledge and my constant journey. So let's get into the skinny of it here, and let's go through here. Bitcoin's at $55,618.78. It's up 2.7% in the past 24 hours and 26.7% in the past 7 days. That's awesome. Ethereum, same thing, 3,644. So which one is going to be the first one to hit all-time high again? I think it's probably going to be Ethereum, honestly. Cardano, $2.29. Let's see, down 1.5% in the past 24 hours. Tether's a stable coin, and so it doesn't matter. Binance Coin, 435.61. XRP, $1.08. Solana, 165.67. Polkadot, 33.76. The Doge, up 25 cents. Up 2 point. These meme coins. God, I'm telling you, I went on a kind of a meme coin rant yesterday, and it's just, to me, it's like buying a lottery ticket. That's all it is, really. And you're getting all these people new to the space, and they're buying into this, and they're feeling like they can get rich one day, and it's all it is. It's a lottery ticket. You're probably not going to get rich from it. If you do, congrats to you. Whatever, just like somebody who wins a lottery, congrats to them. But these meme coins kind of like Shiba Inu as well, having jumped up. I don't even see it on here right now. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. It jumped up to 20th place, up 209%. It dropped 33% yesterday, which is good, but it went up like 385%. And it's just like Elon Musk tweeted about it, so everybody rushes and buys it, And I don't know, man. It's just it gives crypto a bad name, and it gives regulators a reason to demonize cryptocurrency, and saying this is what it's doing, it's taking advantage of the little person and stuff like that. Well, so are lottery tickets, and they aren't doing anything about that, are they? Anyway, okay, that's my little rant. Okay, Chainlink 2736 up here. All right. Move on to Olympus Dow. Okay, like I said, I've been talking about stable coins. I've been talking about what they are, and then I've been talking about RAI, which is a stable coin that is not pegged to the dollar. And then here's this impossibility trinity in stable coins. The impossible trinity is a concept. I can't ever say impossibility trinity in stable. It just doesn't. They need to come up with a different name. Anyway, the impossible trinity is a concept in international economics which states that it is impossible to have all three of a fixed foreign exchange rate, free capital movement, which is the absence of capital controls, and then an independent monetary policy, to where it's not being governed by a government. So you have everything over here. You have Tether, which has that fixed exchange rate right here. It's very far from a sovereign monetary, or very far from free capital flows and sovereign monetary policy. USDC over here, DAI, all the stable coins pegged to $1 over on this side, basically. And then over here, you have RAI, which has a lot of free capital flow. And then float, which is getting closer to sovereign monetary policy, and then ohm, which is very strong on the sovereign monetary side, and and it's very far away from a fixed exchange rate or a free capital flow, but it's a not pegged to $1. So anyway, let's get into what is this. It's ohm is the stable coin of the Olympus Dow, and Olympus Dow is very young. It's only 5 months old, I think. And yeah, so let's take a look at it. Let's go into CoinGecko. I just want to see where ohm is sitting at right now. Olympus ohm. All right, there's something else called ohm coin, so don't confuse that. It's number 69. Nice. Anyway, I just had to say that. All right, look at that, rank number 69. 1 ohm is worth $861.99. And you're like, wait a second, that's not $1. It's not pegged to $1. Well, it's not pegged to the dollar, first of all. But it's pegged to DAI, which is pegged to $1. So let's see. It's supposed to be. All right, so let's go into here. And this is me trying to explain this. And I'm not going to, look at these fancy little clothes coming out by the Bankless Dow. I would never wear. I might wear those to go swimming with. Yeah, sure, why not? All right, let's see here. Matt, yeah, you don't want to see me in a swimsuit. No. I'm not exactly Fabio. All right. What the F is Olympus Dow? All right, so DeFi is a financial and monetary sandbox. Anyone in the world has the ability to write code and spin up a new financial product that's accessible to anyone with an internet connection. New paradigm. A 14-year-old kid in his or her parents' basement, or I said her parents, can create a global lending and borrowing market, or if they're extra ambitious, maybe build a new world reserve currency. And yeah, I mean, look what's happened. You've had an anonymous Satoshi Nakamoto build this revolutionary new store of value. You have some 17-year-old whiz kid build Ethereum, and I don't know how old he is now. It's probably like 27 now. I don't know, 26. Anyway, but a trustless world reserve currency, that's the holy grail in crypto. Crypto doesn't want to rely on central banks, but we still do for quite a bit. I mean, there's over $100 billion in dollar-pegged stablecoins in circulating crypto right now, and that includes Tether, USDC, Binance USD, DAI, and True USD. There's Pax, there's Gemini, there's a bunch, a plethora of stablecoins. All I can think of is Three Amigos when they say plethora and Steve Martin. Does that show my age and the fact that I reference myself to Fabio as well? Ah, man. Yep. Anyway, can we change that? Olympus is not my age, but Olympus is one of the new DAOs on the block looking to create a currency to compete with the dollar. Its native token, OHM, is a free-floating currency, meaning it's not pegged to anything, backed by a basket of assets held in its treasury. So let's take a quick look at this tweet over here. And I saw this: creating a true decentralized bank and reserve currency of DeFi isn't as easy as people think. It's not about number go up. It's about what is in your treasury. And Olympus DAO has, I guess, seen astonishing growth in the past 7 months. Okay, so a thread. All right. So I wanted to take a look here at this one. Many of the DeFi protocols have a thick treasury, but what is actually inside of it? That's a good point. Well, according to OpenOrgs.info, a majority of more than approximately 80% native tokens are in those treasuries. So a lot of these treasuries and a lot of these DeFi protocols are basically funding themselves with their own tokens. For those that don't know what native tokens are, they're the protocol's governance tokens. All right, so let's take a quick look here at this OpenOrgs.info. And it says, so what assets do the top treasuries hold? I created this simple sheet breaking down the following: vested native token, non-vested native token, non-native token, and then disclaimer, the source is missing our DAO contract and may have been contacted to update it. All right, so let's take a look at this. All right. Oh, this tiny little apple. You know, my wife got a bag of tiny apples. Anyway. All right, so what's on their balance sheets? OpenOrgs.info. If you're interested in nosing around this, go ahead, poke around. All right, Uniswap. It's mostly has Uniswap in its treasury. Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. So the vested token and the vesting tokens and the non-vested tokens. All right. And Compound, same case. Pretty much all Compound tokens in this treasury. Lido, mostly Lido, got 20,000 Ethereum, which is a hefty chunk of change. It's 75 million bucks. And look at all this money that they. Aave. Let's see what Aave has. Aave has Aave. And then other, like a tiny $3 million. All right. Gitcoin. Git. That's it. We're starting to branch out. Oh my God. It's got this Akita coin. Another meme coin. Synthetics. Okay. We're starting to diversify a little bit. Okay. So they got Wrapped ETH, SUSD, Wrapped Ethereum, AUNI, Wrapped Bitcoin, and other. Tornado Cash. I don't even know what Tornado Cash is. Okay, so hold on. It's pretty much got all Tornado Cash in there. And then Olympus Dow. A lot of it, they have sushi in there. DAI, Uniswap, LUSD. I think that's probably Lido USD, if I'm correct. I don't know. No, I don't know what LUSD is. And hold on. Let me get back to that. Okay. Wrapped Ethereum, and then other. So they've diversified quite a bit. So let's go back to this. As you can see for yourself, protocols such as Uniswap, Compound Finance have 0% of non-native tokens in their treasury. Why is that bad? They would have to over-the-counter sell or market sell Uni or Compound to come up with cash and directly impact the community with the sell pressure. So if they found themselves in a pinch and they need that cash, they would have to sell their own token. And what happens to the community whenever their own token gets sold to make ends meet? Then the value of that token goes down, and that is bad for the community. All right, so how does the Olympus Dow compare to the others? Olympus Dow is ranked #1 when it comes to non-native percentage in total treasury. The exact number is 25.43. So all of it is due to its bond program, which acquires a basket of assets into our treasury, such as DAI, Frax, LUSD, and Ethereum. So this bond we'll talk about here in a second. This puts Olympus Dow treasury at 5th amongst some of the greatest, such as Aave, Compound, Lido Finance, and Uniswap. The top 5 total treasury, plus #1 non-native treasury and DeFi. Not bad, but it doesn't stop here. We will continue to grow further and have more non-native tokens in our treasury. As of right now, the policy team at Olympus Dow is discussing what the next asset should be. By owning 99.9% of all the OHM paired liquidity on the market, we are able to earn liquidity pool fees as well. The number is about 4.6 million. In addition, we earn rewards through the Onsen program by SushiSwap and have made 900,000 in sushi. And all that stuff gets distributed. I'll explain that here in a second. But it doesn't stop here. We recently introduced LUSD bonds and have sucked in about 18 million in 2 weeks. Policy team had to reduce the capacity allowed since they were doing so well. It doesn't stop there. Olympus Dow is a new source of revenue through our Olympus Pro platform, where we've already secured about a total of $1.285 million in protocol-owned liquidity for our partners. We make it 3.3% of each bond that is sold through this platform, and we have made about $48,501 in fees in less than 2 weeks. The benefit of this is now we have an additional basket of non-native tokens that are in our treasury, and this will continue to increase. As we continue to work through this pilot, we hope to have a PMF. I'm not sure what that is. That is the best way for protocols to finally get rid of liquidity mining rewards. After the pilot, we hope the capacity on some of these bonds will rise and Olympus Dow will make more in revenue fees. Olympus Dow has already received about 30 to 40 applications to onboard for Olympus Pro, and some of them are cross-chain as well. This is how you build a community-owned, decentralized financial infrastructure for all. Excited to where it'll be at the end of this year. Okay, so Olympus Pro is basically doing liquidity pools as a service. Okay, think about some of the risks in liquidity pools. Let's scroll down here in this article. Talks about what is Olympus Dow. I'll get to that in a second. But let me just talk about some liquidity pool. Where did all my highlights go? Oh, man. I had some good highlights. All right. Where are you at? Dude, I had highlights. Okay, so let me see if I can find it. Okay, so they're talking about bonding. Okay, so, all right. Okay, by helping bond with growth, bonding plays a key role. It also helps to indefinitely secure the liquidity of OHM. Okay, as we know, capital in DeFi is mercenary, constantly shifting in search of the highest yield. As a result, many protocols have a toxic relationship with their liquidity providers and are often forced to pay them to stick around with token incentives, decapitalizing them in the process. Through liquidity pool bonding, Olympus is able to turn this dynamic on its head. That's because it enables the protocol to own and control its own liquidity. With the liquidity pool tokens held by Olympus, known as protocol-owned liquidity, this means that rather than incentivizing or hoping third-party providers continue to provide liquidity, the protocol can, to quote Thanos, do it itself. And my 2-year-old says that quite often as well. I'll do it myself. Hold on, let me there's my bookmark. So let me take down this my highlights. So let me put my shields down and let this refresh itself. Okay. So there's a problem with liquidity pools in which people come in, they provide liquidity, but immediately, like almost 24 hours later, a huge percentage of those people leave that liquidity pool. And that happens with rug pulls and things like that. But Olympus Dow would own those liquidity pools, and you wouldn't have to worry about people pulling out on you. So that's a good thing. So let's go over here back to this article. Yeah, all right. So that is part of the liquidity pools. Okay, so what is Olympus and OHM? Olympus is a protocol. Okay, hold on. If you haven't seen this at the end of people's Twitter profiles, this 3,3, I have, and then Discord, there's a guy named Nakamomo that's in there, and he has 3,3, and I've been meaning to ask him what it means, and now I know. I don't have to ask him, but yeah, what on earth is 3,3? So Olympus is a protocol that is responsible for the issuance and management of a fully backed algorithmic free-floating stable asset OHM. The definition is a mouthful, so let's break it down piece by piece. So fully backed, OHM is fully collateralized as it's backed by a treasury of crypto assets that sit under the purview of Olympus Dow. And you saw that treasury that I pulled up on openinfo.org or whatever it was, which is known. Okay, so this sits under the purview of Olympus Dow, which is known as the Protocol Controlled Value, PCV. The Dow has decided that each OHM issued has to be backed by $1 in collateral. Okay, so it is kind of weirdly pegged to the dollar, I guess, though this can be changed by a governance vote. Initially, this consisted of just one DAI, with every OHM issued having one DAI in the treasury as its backing. However, the protocol has since expanded the treasury to include other assets such as Frax, another algorithmic stablecoin, which is Frax, as well as OHM DAI liquidity pool tokens from SushiSwap, and then OHM Frax liquidity pool tokens. Okay, so you would own these liquidity pool tokens, but there are also active governance protocol to add Ethereum and Bitcoin to the treasury. This means that OHM is now 2 times backed from a mixture of these assets rather than solely DAI. All right, so when was this written? Let's see here, July 29th. So it's been a minute. So yeah, as we can see that there's been some progress made on it. Okay, so you're holding these liquidity pools tokens. As we can see, the current value of the assets in the treasury sits over $70 million, with its composition sitting at roughly 71.8% DAI, 27.8% Frax, and 0.4% Sushi. The governance token is Sushi Swap, accumulated from yield farming rewards, more on that later, and that token, the governance token of Sushi Swap, that's accumulated from the yield farming. Okay, so while Olympus has been compared to a private bank issuing its own notes, another interesting parallel comes to mind is Federal Reserve. As we know in the fiat system, the Fed holds a variety of different assets such as U.S. Treasury bonds, gold, dollars, and foreign currencies. It's not just the dollar, which they use to help conduct monetary policy. Olympus manages a similar balance sheet. However, the currency to which it governs and issues is fully backed by the assets. Well, of course, the US dollar is not. Yeah, we said it, right? Okay, so it's fully backed, and then it's algorithmic. So what is algorithmic? Olympus allows the market to largely determine the price of Ohm. It does utilize the assets in the treasury to help keep the price as close to $1 as possible. When Ohm trades at a premium, as it does now, the protocol will mint Ohm and sell it into the open market in order to increase supply and drive down price. The DAO will also intervene should Ohm trade at a discount, as if its price falls below $1, the protocol will buy back and burn tokens to decrease the supply and increase price. Okay, so it's fully backed, algorithmic, free floating. Although Olympus conducts open market operations, the price of Ohm is largely allowed to float. This means that rather than having its price pegged to that of another asset, such as the dollar, the value of Ohm is determined by the free market. Because of this, its price in dollar terms can and has been volatile, like any other non-pegged asset, is subject to the whims of supply and demand. Despite this, Ohm is considered to have a quote-unquote floor price or risk-free value, RFV, that is worth the amount of assets backing each token. The current RFV value of the protocol treasury is equivalent to the stablecoins, and to account for the risk, a discounted value of the liquidity pool tokens in it. Okay, so there, and then it's a so fully backed algorithmic. Where is it? Okay, fully backed algorithmic free floating stable asset Ohm. Okay, so we went fully backed, algorithmic, and free floating. Okay, so these are the monetary policy tools. The two best things you can do are stake and bond. So staking is the process through which the protocol issues new Ohm. There are reasons why Ohm holders want to stake their tokens. For starters, like with other systems, it can allow them to lock in their share of the total token supply and avoid facing dilution. In addition, the high Ohm denominated returns can help offset the price risk that comes with the volatility of the token. Currently, over 90% of the supply of the Ohm supply is staked. I mean, look at that. Like pretty much all of it, almost 93%. I'd say it's pretty much almost all. Unlike any other asset, Ohm can be bought on a decentralized exchange such as Uniswap or SushiSwap. Once staked, holders will receive the new distributions in the form of SOhm, as well as 90% of the yield generated by the assets in the treasury. Ohm rewards are paid out every 8 hours, with stakers SOhm balance rebasing to account for the new tokens. This means that the rewards are compounded 3 times a day, which can help to explain as to why Olympus has such high yields. Okay, there's that 3-3 again, single stake. All right, so while the staking APY is currently 15,760%, the APR is just a 507%. Okay, that's it. A figure more in line with some returns that we see in DeFi. Although this yield may seem unsustainable, a 2021 analysis by Glassnode calculated that Ohm would be able to pay out a 40,000% APY for 180 days, given the size of the treasury and the amount of Ohm staked at the time. How is this possible? How is this the case? Olympus is able to sustain these yields because of the premium we discussed earlier, since each Ohm only needs $1 in backing, and each token in circulation currently has more than that in backing. The protocol is able to use these excess assets to issue more tokens. It also means that as the value of the treasury grows, so does the ability to mint Ohm and pay out high yields to stakers. And then we go to bonding. Bonding is the process of selling an asset to Olympus in exchange for discounted Ohm that vest over the course of 5 days. Users have an incentive to bond when the return they would earn from it is greater than that from staking. While the protocol initially offered bonds for Ohm DAI and Ohm Frax liquidity pool tokens on SushiSwap, this has been extended to include pure stablecoin ones as well. So look at this. You can bond your DAI, and then you bond your liquidity pool tokens, and you can bond your pure Frax. All right, so bonding serves several key functions for Olympus. For starters, it's a funnel for the protocol to be able to accumulate more assets. It brings it into the protocol. So when you buy that bond, they buy your liquidity pool tokens, so you can't pull out of that liquidity pool anymore. In doing so, it is able to grow its RFV, risk-free value, thereby being able to increase the amount of OHM that can be issued, as well as sustain high yield for stakers. Beyond helping with growth, bonding plays a key role in that it also helps to indefinitely secure the liquidity of OHM. As we know, capital in DeFi is mercenary. I'm reading this part again. Constantly shifting in search of the highest yield. As a result, many protocols have a toxic relationship with their liquidity providers and are often forced to pay them to stick around with other incentives, decapitalizing themselves in the process. So a lot of these high yields that you see, especially on layer 2 platforms, and they're 150,000% APY and stuff like that. I mean, it's unsustainable. They're really just trying to fund themselves, and then they end up decapitalizing themselves in the process. So through liquidity pool bonding, Olympus is able to turn this dynamic on its head. That's because it enables the protocol to own and control its liquidity. So Olympus DAO owns and controls its liquidity, not just some random schmo that decides to put his tokens in there so that he can take it out or she can take it out at any point. So with liquidity pool tokens held by Olympus, known as the protocol owned liquidity, the POL, that I didn't know what was earlier, this means that rather than incentivizing or hoping third-party providers continue to provide the liquidity, the protocol can do it, to quote Thanos, itself. So rather than depending on these random schmoes that you don't know to keep on providing that liquidity, the Olympus DAO, the protocol, owns that liquidity. So you don't have to worry about that liquidity deciding, being like, well, time to get on out, hit the road, I see better liquidity over there, or better returns over there. Nope, that's not going to happen. Not with Olympus DAO. So it also means that should the DAO continue to hold the liquidity pool tokens, there will be a constant and growing floor of liquidity that is available in perpetuity. So yeah, there will be a constant and growing floor of liquidity that is available in perpetuity. So forevermore, tomorrow. Bonding has so far been an effective mechanism for implementing this strategy, as the protocol currently owns 98.5% of the liquidity for the Uniswap version 2 Ohm Frax pair. Okay, 98.5% of that liquidity. Wow. And 99% of the Ohm Dai pair on SushiSwap. It's also allowed the Olympus as a protocol to reap the rewards that come with providing liquidity. So for instance, as we referenced earlier, the protocol itself has earned a substantial amount of sushi tokens because they're the owners of that liquidity pool, of those LP tokens, by people putting their money into that liquidity pool, then buying the bonds from Olympus, and then Olympus now owns those liquidity pool tokens, so they're earning the rewards from that. So that goes into the protocol, and then it builds up their treasury, which is good for everybody. For instance, as we referenced earlier, the protocol itself has earned a substantial amount of sushi tokens because they own those LP tokens and because they own nearly all the liquidity in the pool. Furthermore, the DAO is able to earn the standard trading fees that come with the LPing, which also increases the treasury's assets, which enables them to grow the supply of Ohm. So they can buy more Ohm and mint more Ohm and all that stuff because they are earning the standard trading fees that come from taking part in liquidity pools, and they have the liquidity pool tokens. So there's been an extremely high adoption. Despite the nascency and incredible complexity of the system, Olympus has managed to see incredible growth just under 5 months since launch, and this was back in July, so it'll be about 8 months now. In addition, the protocol is beginning to partner with other DeFi projects. So yeah, watch out for that. Not only is Frax and SushiSwap our partners, Olympus recently helped launch a pool on Rary Capital's Fuse, a protocol for creating isolated money markets. And then let's see, we have Aave on the horizon. I don't know if that's coming to fruition yet. And then OMIs, a grassroots Federal Reserve. Of course, we'd be remiss to have a discussion about Olympus DAO without talking about the OMIs. And then here's where the meme 3,3 comes into play. The OMIs have emerged as one of crypto's most passionate communities in 2021, as there are now more than 8,200 holders of Ohm and 11,000 members in the Olympus Discord. On a more tangible level, Omi culture is beginning to proliferate throughout the broader crypto, with 33 turning into one of the most popular Twitter handles and suffixes, along with .eth, of course, and the ultrasound money meme. Okay, so look at that, the holders over time, and that was just in July. So here's the game theory. This is the interesting game theory behind whether or not a participant will stake OHM or bond or sell their OHM. So staking and yeah, so staking is the 3-3. If you stake, you're doing the best for the community apparently. And then bonding is also good. I'm still yeah. Just study it for yourself. I don't have time to go into the details of this because I got to get out on my commute. But anyway, the number of pairs pictured above are a way in which the community has been able to illustrate this and how beneficial and detrimental each action a participant in the system is to themselves and the protocol. Staking is considered to be the most beneficial action for all Olympus participants. This is because it helps to increase the value of OHM by causing positive buy pressure from the initial purchase of tokens, as well as due to the increasing of its scarcity as a result of the supply being locked up. So it causes buy pressure and causes scarcity. And then bonding is also considered to be net positive, albeit not as much as staking, in that it provides the assets for the Olympus treasury, though it does not place direct buy pressure to increase the value of OHM. So selling is considered a net negative, so don't sell. It puts downward pressure on the price of OHM, and with the decline in price possibly encouraging other participants to sell their token. So with this in mind, we can see why 3-3 has become a rallying cry of sorts, as it is a way to convey the positive sum of benefits of staking and encourage other participants to do so. Interesting. Yeah, and then goes into the government, and then yeah, there's a conclusion. So let's go take a quick little look at the website here. I go to the FAQs. Be sure to review the FAQs. I'm going to link all this stuff in my video description. Why do we need Olympus Dow in the first place? Dollar-pegged stablecoins have become an essential part of crypto due to their lack of volatility as compared to other tokens such as Bitcoin and Ether. Users are comfortable with transacting using stablecoins, knowing that they hold the same amount of purchasing power today versus tomorrow. But as you know, the dollar's had its problems. This is a fallacy. The dollar is controlled by the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve. This means the depreciation of dollar also means the depreciation of these stablecoins. Yeah, especially when they're printing trillions of dollars out of thin air. And yeah, money printer go burr. Olympus Dow aims to solve this by creating a free-floating reserve currency, OHM, that is backed by a basket of assets by focusing on supply growth rather than price appreciation. Olympus Dow hopes that OHM can function as a currency and is thus able to hold its purchasing power regardless of market volatility. And then they go on to talk about the 3-3 and the 1-1, the meme. That's meme culture for you right there. That is cryptocurrency in a nutshell. Meme culture. And then they talk about the PCV and then the POL, protocol own liquidity. So the fact that the protocol owns the liquidity pools, to me, is really the key thing that helps me understand it. Knowing that the liquidity pool token holders won't just cash in and take off at any moment, that it is secure and that it's stable and that will be put into place. And then this whole Olympus Pro is kind of, yeah, liquidity pools as a service. Let's go down here. Where'd you go by? Where'd you go? OHM is designed to infinitely grow in value. All right. A true store of value doesn't exist yet. A store of value is an asset that is stable or that increases in value over time. Oh, hold on. Let me open this up. And just, there we go. All right. Stablecoins are vulnerable to inflationary policies, as we see right now, while Bitcoin and Ethereum suffer from market crashes or manipulation and volatility. None of these is a true store of value. All right. Interesting. All right. So where is this OHM Pro? Olympus Pro, yeah, right here. And there's been a lot of interest in this bond marketplace for protocol-owned liquidity. Explore a new way to invest in the future of your favorite protocol. There's the bonds marketplace for Abracadabra, Alchemix, Float, Frax, Pendle, Stake DAO. A problem with existing yield farms. Liquidity leaves farms at an alarming rate. So if you see some yield farm and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go be a yield farmer, then you get rug pulled. 42% of yield farmers that enter a farm on the day it launches exit within 24 hours. Around 16% leave within 48 hours. And by the third day, 70% of these users would have withdrawn from the contract. That's pretty scary if you're trying to make money in that way. It's pretty risky. So the fact that Olympus Dow owns these liquidity pool tokens and then you buy the bonds because you bought the bonds, that's a pretty win-win situation right there. The Olympus Pro solution, bonds vest over a period of days set by the protocol, and you're free to claim any pro rata share. And then support your protocols. When users purchase bonds through Olympus Pro, it allows protocols to accumulate the liquidity to secure longevity and price stability for everyone involved. This makes bonds a mutually beneficial exchange. Anyway, yes, it's a win-win for all. That's it. All right, so that being said, I've run out of time. I'm running late. I got to get out this door. And I don't want to drive like a crazy ass down the freeway. But I woke up late. I wanted to try to cover this complex protocol and topic in this short amount of time. And I feel like I've glossed over a lot of things. I need to come back and reapproach this and do kind of a more organized approach. But this is what it is. And this is my look. And this is kind of what I learned last night when I was reading up on Olympus Dow, trying to get a touch of figure it out. And pardon me if I kind of look like a cartoon figure today. I don't know what the deal is with my camera. I didn't have time to sit around and mess with the settings. So, all right. That being said, a win-win for all, Olympus Dow. And we'll dig in more on that later. But hopefully you have kind of a good idea. It's a pretty safe place as far to buy bonds and not be subjected to the whims of liquidity pools and stuff like that. And it's a non-dollar pegged. It's not even really a stable coin. It's a free floating asset. So, all right. Well, that being said, I want to check out my stream here. Okay. All right. Stream's all good. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye.